Hello. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody's okay and surviving. It's a bit warm, and it's I've currently got a dog asleep on an ice pack up there. she's bless her. She's not enjoying this heat. She's been very sleepy all day, so she's having a little rest of her head. Oh, I cannot achieve anything. I just stare at her, honestly. It's a marvel that I got this chapter done today. So, hope you guys are okay. You're all chatting about the heat wave as well. It's all I can think about, isn't it? I just popped up to the allotment to go and water it once the sun had gone down. Just even walking, I was like, ugh. So, hello everyone. I hope you're well. Welcome new people as well. I know a lot of people voted last night that weren't regular voters when we did the last adventure. So, if you've been watching the last one and joined in, hello. Um, by the time we got to the end of the first audience venture, lots of people were sort of messaging and saying that they really were enjoying it, but just felt a bit too shy to get involved in the chat or didn't really feel like it. And that's absolutely fine. Like, please don't feel any pressure to be chatting away. The chat's there for you on it and it's lovely. But if you want to just watch quietly, you're very welcome to. And you're also very welcome to vote, even if you watch it on catch up or if you don't chat but want to vote, that's absolutely fine. So, and if you don't want to vote at all and just go with the ride, then that's fine too. So the votes, it was quite close. There was only one vote in it, but the flower bed did win. So I've started it on a flower bed. I haven't made too many choices other than that because I just thought I'd I'd give you another vote quite quickly and let you see. So it's a sort of short and sweet chapter tonight to set the scene, and then we'll go from there. So I think, yeah, still asleep. Look at that little face. Oh, I love her. What came second, says Human Hebel? The sea. It was one vote behind for the sea. Tom's tatting because he voted C, but I told him his vote only counts if he comments on the video. And he's told me he's never going to comment on the videos. So we'll do the chapter, shall we? And then there's two questions so that you've got maximum choices as to which way this could go. Because I'm trying to think of ways to make this like a nice different story to the last one, but that you'll still enjoy. So here we go, another adventure. Hope you got your seatbelts on. The audience adventure strike two, mark two. Strike two is a bad thing, isn't it? Like shaking his head at me. The audience adventure mark two, 2.0. That's the American way to say it, isn't it? 2.0. Okay. The dirt was cool and damp, collecting in small clumps, miniature boulders nestled in the cracks of drier earth. Flowers shielded the mud from the harshness of the sun, creating a dappled light and a haven of relief from the heat of the day. It had that smell of slight decay that should offend, but hides notes of natural promise we can't help but enjoy. It smelled like a place that knew what it was doing. Roots were in abundance, both on the surface and beneath the crusty top layer of dirt. Strong veins reached deep into the sublayers looking for water and holding out like anchors against the constantly nagging persuasion of the breeze. Dried out roots of previously dismantled weeds were tossed across the surface of the soil, wasting away against the desiccated leaves and fragments of tiny stone. This was a world away from the plants that stood tall above the surface. They were the attraction, shimmering petals surrounded by glorious blooms of deep green leaves and lengthy stalks. This was a garden to be proud of, and someone was. But the mud. This was where the magic happened. Without the rot and the bugs and the turning and the roots, none of the flowers would work at all. Just between two wavering shadows, something glinted in the sun. A round thing that did not belong down here where things happened slowly and gently. This was not an object for the hidden places of the world. The sun caught on its gentle curves. It seemed almost to be begging to be found, reaching up into the light and yearning to be picked up and loved. But who would notice a little thing like this when the full glory of summer flowers was shielding it in technicolor? It hadn't always been lost. It had been adored, looked at constantly, twisted and turned and filled with meaning for everyone who looked at it. Now, though, it lay here. If you wanted to be romantic, you would say it ached to be gone and back in its rightful place, but that is to give it feelings it wasn't capable of having, only producing. A carnival of ants paraded across the little nugget, forging their regimented tracks towards the winter that was always coming but eternally prepared for. They didn't so much as give the little alien object a second glance. It meant nothing to them, being neither edible, useful, nor a threat. So they merely marched on, the next in a long, long line of creatures to not notice. Slowly, steadily, the light stopped reaching the dirt in the flower bed as the long August afternoon continued. There was no way for the roots or the mud or the little metal thing to know, but it was clouding over. The flowers were grateful in their own way, though, when the clouds began to drop their weight across the garden. Drip by drip, it filtered down to the very bottom of the beauty and to land on the soil. The water gained momentum as the summer shower picked up, and with each drop that hit the metal, a bit more mud was dislodged from around it and revealed more and more of the gleaming surface. As the droplets bounced and splashed and sent their tiny spray around the stems and pebbles and mud, the tiny object lay, cool, in the shade, the water beading and running straight off it. It couldn't possibly know that it was about to be picked up. There you go, chapter 1. That's where we're beginning. Pew, 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 in a flower bed. I see. Is it Norman's discarded wedding ring? Norman. If we were going to bring back any character, it's not going to be Norman, is it? Penny, welcome to the chat. Hi. Thanks for your vote yesterday. So, here are your questions. Now, I've picked 2 questions with 2 options each. So does that make it 4 outcomes or 8 outcomes? I can't do the maths on that. But there's outcomes there basically for what can happen. And I've made them quite different because I just thought, like, let's really make this an adventure. So this could go many, many different ways. So your first question is the object going to be picked up by 1, someone big, or 2, someone small? And then you can decide, is that person wearing gloves or a frown? Those are your choices. So someone big, so they can be big in gloves or big in a frown, small in gloves or small in a frown. So yeah, that's 4 choices, isn't it? So up to you. You get to choose. And it's going to massively shape how the next chapter goes and where the story goes from here. I love these early ones because these early ones are really the ones where the whole thing could go either way. So get voting. If you can vote pretty sharpish, that would be great. I did realise I've got to do a pre-record, and I said it could be tomorrow, which is going to push me to write it because of stuff happening. But that's fine. So it might not quite be released at 10 o'clock, but there will be a pre-recorded video tomorrow as soon as I can get it written. So get voting as quickly as you can, and I will see you-ish tomorrow. Bye. Say goodbye from Mackie as well. There she is. She's so perfect. Bye.